Welcome back to your video. As we get started, thank all of you guys for tuning in. For more information on products and services, feel free to visit astronauthoochie.etsy.com. And the store is being updated. Don't forget, the launch is scheduled for August 15th. And I'll be loading new products to the store as well as merch. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into it. Intuitively, when the cards came out, because I wasn't like intending to do a video. I just wanted like the daily cards or whatever. And when these cards came out, there's good news coming to some of you. Like, I thought that was super dope. So I said we were gonna unpack what this good news could be. Now, as I continue to sit with the cards, I also see that there are some special or a very special person that may be underestimating their own capacity, right? And I feel that there may be messages waiting for you that could inspire you or help you move through any potential creative blocks with some sort of daily meditation practice. So make sure you guys are tapping into that if that resonates at all. Now, with the Firefly, inspired and fantastic, it's a yeet feeling, right? It does talk about the light of 1,000 stars. So that's like powerful. That's just like the army of the 1,000 men. You know, that's like an energy that has grand potential, almost like the little page of wands that is the raw energy of energy, and like energy has existed forever. So the number of ancestors, the number of, you know, past life gifts and experiences are like infinite, right? So that's why it's like very exciting. And it makes me think of like the 1,000 eyes for the peacock, where it says, you know, others, your guides, you know, are watching, you know, they see it from a different perspective, like a horoscope, da 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 da. So it's amazing, yeah? Now, with this energy, it talks about writing, creating, and brainstorming. So some of you guys could be in that energy. If not, right, because the dolphin represents that happiness and that creative flow. If you're not feeling it, it just says there could be some feelings of burnout and feeling dull. And so when I saw this with this, I know what that's about. Sometimes there's a need to sage, definitely time for meditation, and just to get some yucky energy, right, off of you if it is blocking your creativity. What looks like solar plexus chakra, really all of the chakras are kind of like would be depleted. Even though the dolphin is a very upbeat, friendly, happy card, we're talking about if, you know, this is the challenge, right? And these are the issues and the outcomes or solutions. There's that. Now, as I'm speaking, I'm noticing that with the spark, it could create this full picture. So it's like for some of us, the 1,000 eyes are probably seeing the picture. We may not see it, but whatever this creative project is, whatever this energy is leading you to, whatever this message waiting for you through meditation or your dreams or journaling, I feel that it's like bigger than you know, brighter than you think, and it's like the full canvas. So some of you may be seeing parts of something, but not the full picture, and it's a vision or a visual of some sort. So we've been talking about some of you guys may be very clairvoyant and have gifts and abilities, and you have no idea the capacity that you have. So your daily practices and what we're doing with our energy is very important. That said, just like you have favorable, you know, companions and allies on the other side, if you have unfavorable, you know, energy on the other side, those 1,000 eyes gave me this creepy vision of like nasty, like little goons in the dark where you can't see nothing but the eyeballs. You ever seen that on a cartoon or a movie? So they like to, you know, just like a light in darkness, they may like to or be attracted to your light. And that could talk about like those energy vampires and or just the feelings of being depleted. I don't feel like it's you per se. There could be something outside of you, but we will definitely take clarifiers. Now, with the dolphin is very intelligent. So you come in with the spark, who's very energetic and has what it takes to manifest, create whatever this spark, this idea. The dolphin is the healer, is the light. So those energies kind of merge together really well. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts. So for some of you, if you are looking for your cause or some sort of confirmation, definitely working in the healing arts may benefit you, not only for your own personal health and like spiritual journey, but others, like what you came to the planet to do. So they are sensitive to the subtle and energy working on the level of spirit. That sounds like an empath. So my empaths definitely want to monitor, shit closing in on you. Because now that I said that, empaths, attract energy of others. And as they do their work or whatever, sometimes you got to make sure you're washing any additional vibrations off. I did see one of my favorite YouTubers was talking about, I don't know what she was talking about. She was like talking about catching a train or something and picking up other frequencies or something like that. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I am very introverted. I do not favor public transportation and just concerts and all that kind of stuff. I don't feel like that's like being socially awkward. It could be, but it's just not my thing to be approachable and easily reached. So, I mean, it could be OCD, autism, or just like a slight hint of self-care, narcissism, and I'll take it all. However, those of us whose daily practices could involve, sharing our energy, whether you're a reader, whether you are a hostess, customer service, a teacher, a parent, like if your daily activities involve the energy of others, just be mindful to pay attention, right? To stay ahead of the game as you work through the collective to help shift and heal others. Be mindful of yourself, okay? You must balance your life with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. So these are joyful friends. There may be some of us where the people around you aren't this, because I am in my world, right over here, sometimes the second card is the challenge. Other times it's the boon, right? However it works. And I just like to go over all, just because you guys are all on different journeys and we have different deacons of different signs and different transits. So the same thing has almost an infinite amount of possibilities when it's not like a personal reading and it's for the collective. Now the crow also talks about the three realities, so past, present, and future, and it holds within its mind's eye this information. It does talk about seeing the unseen and knowing the unknown. So for some of you, that is your gift. That's crazy, because I have a lot of people that joke a lot when they see readers or they've seen like some of my work. They'll go, okay, Cleo, right? And I never wore the cape of psychic because of, I guess, my environment, being a millennial, and just the the storyline behind some psychics that made it like a career. Some of them didn't have the best reputation, so it kind of came off like, I ain't gonna say scammy or whatever. I believe that it was possible, but the number of scammers and the number of like horror films that made it less serious, I didn't take it seriously. But here lately, it's been coming up a lot for you guys where channeling, clairvoyance, if you break it down, that is pretty much psychic. For some of you that, what do they call it? Like prophecy. Those are people who can predict things. If you get visualizations or messages from spirit, which is intuitive, right? Which is what most of us do. Technically, you're in that realm. So for some of you, expanding that gift, working with that gift, your daily meditation practices or whatever spiritual practices you're doing, I mean, I'm not gonna say that could be your bread and butter. Me personally, I sat with it because I watch a lot of my favorites, right? They're channelers, they're public speakers. Some of them are readers, but most of them are just shifting into just public speaking and channeling, right? So I was like, you know what? When I started Pisces TV, it was literally called Star Meta, the YouTube channeler, right? But Pisces swarmed in, and I'm a Pisces, so I was like, let's make it our thing or whatever, and it went from there. And I just gradually feel like I may have gotten out of the channeling aspect because, and don't block me, but I just really didn't like the energy. And if it's the same people all the time, you're channeling the same information, and it's just like poot, you know? So that could lead to the burnout. That could be your sign to use your gifts and abilities differently, expand them, or even just my point that I was trying to get to. It isn't about profession or career, and for some of you it could be. I just thought it would be super cool in the age of Aquarius, where the meta energy is everly evolving, to be at the top of your game because it may be necessary for something. I feel like the planet energy is shifting. We had this there was no warning for this earthquake we had yesterday in Southern California. Usually, I know some people say, do they ever warn? It's like, yes, sometimes they can see it coming, I guess, based on the impact that it's gonna have. But it was no warning. I think my phone picked up on it while it was happening, or like slightly after it was happening, which I thought was weird because usually there's some sort of advisory that I've always seen sometime before. But anyway, my point is, because, you know, I also follow NASA TV and other stuff, and I'm listening to these readers on YouTube and these speakers constantly reiterating channeling, gifts, energy shifts, changes, predictions, and it could be for a reason, is all I'm gonna say, right? So that's why it's important to me, like whatever we're doing, whatever your thing is, whatever your ability is, it may be for some big opportunity that you have in the near future. It could just also be for the highest good of your experience on this planet right now. Because it's a lot of stories, okay? And we'll take some clarifying so I can stay on track. But it's a lot of stories out there about, you know, how the days are going to go and, you know, what to expect. And I ain't trying to be on the short end of the stick for life. You know what I'm saying? So if the energy shifts and it's driving people to sit in their shadow, or be the pawns for whatever non-favorable energies could be existent, I just don't want to get caught up in that. If the energy is shifting and it's causing people to deal with situations that have been repressed, I am doing the shadow work, or actually have done it, so I appreciate that part. It's just livelihood. I don't want to live in fear, chaos, worry, or no lower vibration. And if the planet is changing, if the times are changing, and it's gonna make it uncomfortable for people who don't do the work or may not have advisory or energy guides or whatever, you get where I'm going? It's like what's gonna differentiate that whole dimensional shift that came up before the pandemic. Remember they said, oh, it's like two earths, and how you shift, because they're not really physical places, they're different dimensions. It depends on your mindset. Living in hell is a person who has excruciating thoughts and energy and how they see things. It's their own turmoil. And then people who have done the work or are being guided, or have a different perspective, they don't have that self-torture type thing going, right? So that being said, it's more than one reason to be doing the work. And the cards, the collective is saying do the work, right? Now for others of you the last little intuitive message before I take some clarifiers was I never can unsee the chosen one who may be receiving where I started with the good news or whatever. It's like news of something that you're getting, and it's like, for what about it? You're gonna be happy about it. I absolutely love that. I feel like you may be getting an idea for a creative project. You could be getting some sort of clarification in addition to this video about your position, you know. But I just feel like the crow chooses, and who it chooses, I feel like gets this boon, right? So it's kind of cool. Let's see what we got here for the firefly. Okay. It's August coming up. I guess it will be the ones that are on a personal journey of self-reflection, that are moving to understand how they're connected, like how they're calibrated. People who are looking for answers, source, those that move away from things that no longer serve them. I feel like those that purposefully get out of the confused energy of the Seven of Cups and into the Eight of Cups, where something materializes. I feel like for some of you, it's going to be a material or some sort of materialistic sort of gift. Now, I know that sometimes the Eight of Cups represents something left behind. So for some of you, there may be something returned to you that you had to at some point let go of. And I know a lot of people through the pandemic, it could have been a job, cars. I know some of my friends have downsized. So there could be things that are being returned. And I love that, because she is, and you know, sometimes depicted as a single parent, health practitioner. Well, that's more so the Queen of Cups, but she too is a person that works with the elements. All of my small business owners or holistic healthcare workers, essential workers, I feel like that's where the possessions or the gifts or the materials could be dropped off. Okay, maybe it's one of those waves. Others of us that burn out, depleted creative block is quitting, because the Eight of Cups would say, you know, this doesn't serve me and that doesn't serve me, and whatever's for me, you know, I'll have type vibe. And I've always said that, even before today, like, okay, sure, or whatever. So, ooh, for some of you, this is going to be something that makes you super happy. And the ninth cup would be wish fulfillment. And this wish fulfillment is coming from spirit. So it's not a person unless it's some sort of offer. And the offer could be a job offer. Some others of you, this is the divine child. And I love this whole Holy Grail vibe that I'm getting, because this cup. Let me see what else is here before I go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so stay on this rabbit hole, because what's next is that other perspective where we talked about feeling burnt out, quitting. That shadow energy is really going to kick people's asses. So make sure that you stay grounded. These could be emotional attacks, and I feel like because humans are mostly water and the planet is too, and that's where the emotions are being controlled by the moon, that it could weigh you down. And then you feel like you're stretching yourself too thin, because this person would stretch themselves too thin because they have a lot of responsibilities. They're usually administrators, secretaries, you know, hostesses, like I said, parents, and or small business owners and stuff like that. So make sure you take time out for yourself, concentrate, and make sure you focus on that conscious and subconscious energy, as well as stay hydrated. Now, our habits, some habits for some of you guys, if you've been having insomnia, and or having fluctuations in weight, be mindful of those things, because it could be from the excessive like movement or the lack of sleep. Others of you, you may have been waiting on whatever this news is, or this energy to return to you, or this thing to return to you for some time. So there's that, because this could be, well, that's more like the Eight of Wands, but I was going to say some sort of package or something like that. That could be a return to sender type deal, if there are any energy attacks. And for some of you, it could represent the moon phases. And we do have a new moon coming the first week of August. Could be significant to a timeline for some of you. So just keep that in mind. The moon also represent being intuitive, you know. It could talk about Cancer, where it falls in your chart. So let's see what else we got. And this buffalo won't leave the bottom of the deck. Is insane. Let's see here. The Masters. Okay. I feel like this fate thing, this past, present, future, the three fates, this ancestral big homie type energy, it's just here. I didn't ask for it, so I ain't gonna dive too deep into it. But the spider is like the Wheel of Fortune. This lion could represent strength. Leo, August, the Lionsgate portal, the fact that I think 2024 is 8. So the significance about this Lionsgate portal over other ones is that it's just not 88, it's like 888. So it's amplified as a master number that's amplified, right? And you see these things being amplified. So I think that that's super dope. For the dolphin, I see a star, the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, for some of you, I see money, luck, and improvement, because that's what you've been focusing on. That's what's being returned to you. That's what you deserve. You're going to get it. Everybody's going to get what they're focused on. What have you been focused on? Because here is the vulture, which is sometimes the sage, and the sage is there waiting to clean up messes. Messes are usually, you see how this, it's like this foggy, dark energy around it. And so if we moving around like that, it could be beneficial if it's your energy. And for that reason, you should definitely pay attention to your daily practices, meditation, clear your energy and stuff like that. Because I know there's a Mayan sign of the vulture who's very wise, just like the owl, who has this purpose of like something that could sound or seem dark, kind of just like a hospice nurse, or you know, just like something that isn't dark but could be or seems like it. That's sometimes the energy of the vulture. So it may be favorable for some of you that are looking into that kind of work, kind of like working with spirit, but in a way of dealing with the heavier stuff. Some of you, I mean, the light work isn't always super light and chippery. Others of you, it could be, right? I'll just say that because it's two totally different energies, from the dolphin to the vulture. But the hawk came out, and it talks about moments or situations that kind of like where you get kicked in the back by a guide or warned about tarot moments. Something could be coming to an end or had come to an end, and that's what you may be receiving some sort of recovery for. Some of you guys may be recovering from some of the energy that I'm talking about. Or when we talked about the 1,000 eyes, here's the hawk, here is the vulture, and the owl. So it's like 3 birds, you know, 3, what does it say? The 3 such and such and says. So that's kind of crazy. That's cool though. Okay, now I know that sound a little bit different. To me, I was like, Spirit, where we're going with this personally. But then I see the octopus, which does talk about having a lot of options and not really having the focus or the direction on which way we want to take it. Because these are all different sorts of teachers, where this could be business, finance, this could be overseeing, leadership of some sort, mentoring, and this has more to do with working with you know, light work, but in a certain way type deal. So for some of you, there could be 3 fates, and it feels like the 3 fates are those who take heed to their surroundings and the warnings. I feel like it may be favorable for you. Those of us that don't and get caught up in the rigmarole, I don't think the vulture is going to differentiate. the chosen ones over the not so chosen ones if they're not following the guidance. That sound fucked up, not gonna lie to you, but what if that's what it is? Some of us may have in the past been taught lessons. Those lessons were hard, dark truths that could have led to purges. Maybe there's a purge being provoked by both sides, okay? So we need to watch that. I think I hit that on the head. So let's get a clarified for the Grove. Okay, we have the bear again. So with the bear, you have the bee, the fish, the whale, and the cheetah. That's a lot. I'm like, Spirit, come on. I know the bee usually talks about the transfer, you know, like the pollination that had their job, okay? So your purpose, your direction, and your ancestors. And here we are again being asked to focus on those sacral, root, solar plexus areas, because that's where the personal strength and personal power may come from, as well as your vitality. Because being deep, that's cool, but it may put you in a place of being emotionally overwhelmed, which could affect your focus as well as your direction. And you'll find yourself, you know, it's usually the fish, you know, if it doesn't have to be Pisces, but the fish in this particular card is going upstream, okay? And it also talks about the moon phase, because the moon card keeps coming out, and I'm like, why, right? But I noticed that the moon and the fish have the same thing, so that could be significant to maybe a Pisces moon that's coming up in August. We'll have to look into that. And I do feel that y'all have to look, because I'll be forgetting, but I know the waning and the waxing moon are different depending on where the moon is, right? If the chunk is bitten off the right side, maybe a waxing. It's a waning moon. Okay, cool. So it may be a Pisces waning moon. Not 100% certain. Okay, but just look into that. So that is what we have. Let me see if we have anything else. I have the butterfly. I'm gonna sing it. Don't pull that card out no more. I'll be like, the butterfly. That's old. The stingray comes back out. The backbone. You know, have the backbone to slay the dragon. Doing that shadow work to make sure we don't get stuck. Don't react to negativity. Understand that there is always enough, and even when it ain't, in the face of adversity. Try not to do that, because if right now you're in the phase or the cycle of scorpionic energy, karmic energy, you know, galactic debt, or just facing your fears, if nothing else, this is the shadow energy of the Father of Cups in your business and your life and your relationships. This is purge energy. This is shadow. So even are the thousand eyes in the shadow about to purge us all, or are you purging energy that no longer serves you? And if so, let it flow, let it go. That's what I got. I do hope that it helps.